Hey everybody, we are back for the last 9 holes of Moving Day MPO Division 2024 European Disc Golf Festival here in Tallinn, main city here in the country. We had some really solid action on the first 9 holes. And look at this super pro studio we have right now. Hello, Elias.
What's up, Maxime? Yeah, we don't have the greatest look right now, but we're trying to act professional. Just like the professional players on the card. Kyle Klein, 7 under on the front. James Proctor, 6 under. Ricky, 5 under. And Väino, he's a little bit off, but everybody else, super good play. Ricky, even with 1 bogey, able to keep a 4-stroke lead over the field.
Yeah, that's what happens when we play a crazy round like the first he had yesterday. And yeah, pretty stacked field behind the man. And let's wait for some great action. As you mentioned, Kyle Klein 7 down through 9. Pretty decent. And hole 10 coming now, par 3, new one.
Yeah, new for this year. Another one of these very common holes for this course, which have a low ceiling. You have to throw a low fairway driver, most likely if you want to reach the basket. Either forehand or backhand can work. There's a left side gap for the forehand and also the right side gap for a straight backhand. All about just missing the trees in the middle from either side. Need to commit to your gap and some speed control here as well. You need to throw it pretty low because of that low ceiling, but also pretty hard to reach it. There's OB left and right, so tree kicks are pretty catastrophic a lot of the times.
And you can also go with that forehand option, missing the trees there, and he's gonna be inside the circle. Really nice shot from Ricky. Super low line.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, this was the first hole that he missed yesterday in his 16 under round. So he got a par here, and Kyle, great looking forehand, just barely hitting the last small tree in the way, but still in the circle. Really good result on this.
Yeah. Would you call this bonus birdie?
Almost. I'd say it's almost a bonus birdie. Definitely one of the trickier ones on the course. Not for the distance, but just the ceiling is so low and the line is actually quite tight. One of the tightest ones for this distance we have on this course.
Uh-oh. No way. He is 6 meters from the basket, even less than that. With a weird line on the right side, but good result for Väino and a good pitch up for James. Should be an easy par. Great, but great birdie for Kyle Klein, keeping the pace. 8 down through 10.
Yeah, lovely stroke there. Even going a little bit downhill, it can be a scary putt if you airball this, which of course these players are not really scared of. Ricky is within comfortable distance though. That was not a very comfortable looking putt. Very nose down, very low, but able to get it in, and he has a lot of birdies in a row. He has, I believe, 4 in a row.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. 3 birdies on this hole is pretty solid. We have James with a lonely par, which is pretty okay. And we are moving on to one of the hardest holes on the course. Hole 11, par 4. Really tricky.
For sure. It's also playing as one of the hardest ones. One of only 5 holes on the course to play over par on average. This one 4.17. Yeah, it's all about throwing a nice straight to right finishing shot off the tee. Backhand can work if you turn it really late, but the best shot here by far is gonna be that flat, low thrown forehand. Try to keep it as left as you can because the forehand is always trying to skip to the right side woods, and from a good tee shot you're gonna have another left to right moving shot, potentially another forehand depending on your position on the fairway. It can also be a backhand turnover, or if you find yourself in the woods on the right side, it's just a low scramble shot through another low ceiling.
Love those shots of the crowd. And a forehand, unfortunately, hitting that building on the left side. He's gonna be okay on that right side. Not easy almost impossible to reach the basket from that spot. And that's a better looking shot for Kyle. Little turn at the start and fading at the exact right moment. He's really deep down the fairway with an open look to the green. And that's the more common way to attack that hole. Careful with that fade. Unfortunately, he needed a bit more turn, but that backhand option with a mid-range or putter is the main option for a lot of players on the field.
Yeah, for sure. It takes a pretty long forehand to get into the sweet spot, but Väino showed exactly why the backhand is pretty risky, because you have to turn it at the right time, and he was trying to turn it late, but if you fade out, it's just horrible. And look at this shape from James Proctor. Hyzer flip, only flipping at 100 meters.
And that's so beautiful. Hyzer flip up, like you need a huge amount of confidence with your angle. Great shot. And Ricky, he's gonna be just outside C2 there, I'm pretty sure. Good shot from where he landed.
For sure, I think he had about 135 meters still to go, so that's a good shot from there, and really avoiding danger on this hole. That's important. Väino not gonna be able to save a par, just too low, too much turn.
And James with another forehand. Oh, no way. Not the best reaction. He's gonna be just outside C1. He's quite comfortable from that range. And now Kyle with the forehand inside.
Pretty awkward footing he had. He had to take a wide straddle to the left. Couldn't really get the hips engaged to the shot. And that's what easily happens when you throw mostly with the upper body.
Oh, good try from Väino. Long range try to save the par. Unfortunately not able to make it happen. And that's too early for Kyle.
Yeah, a lot of long looks here. And Ricky also just outside of circle 2. Trying to make it. Wow, look at this putt from Ricky, and he's running it down. He's getting so much momentum out of nowhere. He really didn't start off that hot. Got that bogey on the front nine. He was only 2 under through 6 holes, but getting the 5th birdie already in a row.
And he took a bogey on hole 6, and he's 7 down through 11. Oh wow. Good putting clinic right now from James and Ricky. And a tester for Kyle from 6 meters, no worries. Taking the par. And Väino with the lonely mistake, unfortunately, just a bogey. When you go out on that left side, it can be tough, so bogey, not the worst, that can happen. Hole 12, one of the hardest birdie to get, super long hole uphill. What do you know about this?
Yeah, pretty hard birdie to get if you don't have a lot of distance, but if you have a big arm, it's quite a basic shot actually. You can just aim at the right side spruces. You can see those 2 huge spruce trees on the right side of the fairway. You are flying over the OB if you take that route, but just fading in front of them, you're always taking a nice skip here. A lot of players also are going for a straighter shot to get some more forward pushing glide. I think that's what Ricky is gonna do. Bit flatter, bit lower, try to get that good skip at the very end.
Yeah, little Hyzer out of the hand. He makes this look so easy and so short. It feels more like a 150 meter shot, and he's just parked without forcing and putting too much power. in the form.
Yes.
James now.
It's weird. Ricky is making this whole. He's throwing that distance driver like it's a fairway driver. It's just going really straight. And James here, more of the common result, you know, getting a big fade out. He's gonna challenge the left side OB, but barely stay safe. That's still a good look. And more of that common range on this hole. It's really rare to see somebody actually under the basket.
Yeah, great show from Ricky. Now Kyle. This needs to get back as fast as possible. Oh yeah, just outside C1. And a decent look for another birdie for the US champ. And the Väino. Yeah, this needed a bit more turn. Unfortunately, hopefully not OB left. Apparently not.
So common to see that on this hole. For some reason, everybody, well, obviously not everybody, as Ricky and Kyle didn't do that, but so common to see people fading out to the left. And Väino, good run. Not his day, only 2 under so far.
Yeah, hitting a lot of metal. And same for James here, too low, catching the front cage. Needed a bit more push. Now Kyle.
Confident, very confident with that stepper. Feel like that's something that a lot of American players are very good at doing. We don't see that many Europeans utilizing the stepper from just outside the circle. I feel like Hjalte Jensen does it, but not that many others.
Yeah, now you are mentioning it. I'm trying to find some. And that's not the easiest task. You're right. I'm struggling right now to find some names. And Ricky in the lead, 24 down. Kyle chasing 9 down through 12. Super clean. And now hole 13, another par 3, long one but downhill. What do you think about this one?
This one actually even significantly more difficult than the last one. Both very long par 3s, playing maybe 5 meters longer. Really not that big of a distance difference as far as how it plays, as this one is a little bit uphill. But what makes this so much more difficult is that you have OB much closer on the left side, also on the right side comes into play. And probably the biggest factor, this hole always has a bit of a headwind as we're teeing off towards the Baltic Sea. So headwind here, tailwind on the last hole. Important to choose something stable enough that it doesn't flip over to the right.
Is this a bit early? In danger left side? Not at all. Exactly the same as yesterday. And I did say exactly the same. He made me lie. Same today. Inside the circle. Oh. No way. OB left. That's a weird mistake, man.
Yeah, very surprising. There's a lot of room on the right side. There's pretty much unlimited room on the right side. You can play as wide of a hyzer as you want. Of course you can't reach the hole if you go for a spike hyzer, but would really love to see Kyle playing a bit more width with the shot.
Yeah, that's the line. If you can keep that flat angle. Yeah, a bit short. 14 meters left maybe. Now Väino only 12 down. 2 through 12. He needs some birdies now.
I love the line here though. Great height, perfect line, just on the edge of the circle. But that's a great result on this hole. It's not easy to get inside the circle. And Ricky just made this hole look once again so much shorter than what it actually is.
Taking the bogey on this one was not expected from Kyle. Really unfortunate. Come on. Missing the line. Not common to see that from James.
And great birdie from Väino there, well done. And you notice that he went with a pitch putt even from 10 meters, so probably feeling more comfortable with that putting style at the moment. And Ricky here, just 5-6 meters left. Great birdie and a great stretch.
Yeah, great stretch, and also making that gap giant between him and Kyle, who was solo second. Is he still solo second? So 7 strokes on the second player of the field. That's huge. And we are moving on to one of the hardest, going into the trees, into the woods. Military base on the right side, so we were not able to fly the drone the entire way. It was pretty weird. Explain what's happening on this one.
Yeah, a lot of frisbees gonna be thrown at the gap, hopefully on a hyzer. With a distance driver, you want to throw something not exactly low to the ground. You want to have a few meters of height on the shot, because you need to take a pretty severe turn to the left, and it's also going uphill at the end. So throw a glidey hyzer well off the ground so the uphill doesn't stop your disc too short before the basket. It's pretty difficult to reach the circle here though. Well, of course, Ricky might make it look easy. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, for sure he does. And he took back the mistake he did yesterday. He went too late, too flat. Now he's just outside the circle. Not sure what happened here.
Yeah, weird release there, too high and too far to the right. And James, this is more of the line I was thinking of. Maybe needs to get left a bit earlier. You can see he went to the right side of those corner trees, which a great result. I wonder if he's actually going for that line.
Looked like to be. Okay, did you see it?
No, I think he's gonna be, left side trees. This is one of the toughest spots you can find, actually on the entire course. Forehand roller here, not turning. This is in danger of going OB. Never mind, it flipped. So he's still gonna have a look from far side of circle 2. Not ideal. This hole is pretty easy to par, even though it's difficult to birdie.
Yeah, tough stretch for Kyle. Unfortunately not able to keep the pace. And the pressure on Ricky, who's flying right now. Väino with an easy pitch up. That's gonna be an easy par. And that's high. Tester to save the bogey, 6 meters, maybe 7. And now Ricky to make the gap even bigger. Just inside. How many birdies in a row now? 8?
I think so. From hole 7, he has only birdied. It's pretty crazy how he's playing right now. With a slow start, already 10 under through 14. He's only 2 strokes off the pace that he set yesterday with that 3rd highest rated round of all time.
Yeah, and unfortunately he just took that bogey on hole 6. Just a matter of centimeters on that approach. And that's 2 bogeys in a row for Kyle. And now tied 3rd with that mistake. Hole 15. Let's go.
Another low ceiling here, very common for this course as we have seen many times before. It's all about throwing a distance driver. Usually most players go distance driver off this tee. You can also go fairway if you really want to punch it hard, but the low thrown flat distance driver shot is gonna be the best. You want to stay somewhere straight on this grass. That's gonna open you up for a nice straight shot, or the best play on this hole honestly is gonna be a right to left moving approach, just missing this big tree to the right. And yeah, pretty easy hole if you hit the drive, but the low ceiling is pretty far away, so very important to control the height here.
This is a good shot from Ricky, good distance. Slightly slowed down by those branches right side. Didn't really lose too much. Yep.
Solid. No problem with that. Gonna be a bit of a longer approach for Proctor, as he didn't get the full flight of the disc. But no problem. And Väino here, this needs to turn. Or kick right. Or get through everything and be safe. What a break.
Good for Väino. He needs a bit of help. He needs to get down, and that's a good drop from the wind, I think. Stays in bounds, and everybody is going to have a look to the basket and to the green. Careful with the garden trees on that approach.
James, this is low, challenging the OB short, and he has actually not made it over the wall. I even forgot to mention that OB short of the basket because it's so rarely found from this position. Really surprising miss.
Yeah, but the wind is from the back. And as we saw Kyle's drive, that dropped. Possibly happened to James on that approach, and a good approach from Kyle. Ricky is a bit wide. Yeah, left with a short C2 putt, 12-13 meters, to have a 9th birdie in a row.
I like the line here from Väino going wide with a good swinging hyzer. That's gonna be nice, just 6 meters left. No problem from there. And James trying to save the bogey here. Not a hole that you want to bogey. Of course you don't want to bogey any hole. But this is one of the holes that is playing under par. Not that many bogeys in the field. And Ricky just barely missing his first par in a long time.
And a good birdie for Väino, 4 down now. And James slowed down the pace, and now an unfortunate mistake. Ricky 10 down through 15. And in the end, it looks like we are living exactly what happened in Proctor, where Ricky was far ahead of the rest of the field. Now entering hole 16, par 3, shorty.
Yeah, short by the distance, playing a little bit longer with a very low ceiling and grass on the green that really doesn't skip a lot. A lot of the times you're throwing your disc so low that it doesn't have time to fade. Thus, it doesn't skip as much as it's landing very flat. A lot of the players are gonna be going with a fairway driver here, even with a short distance, just because of that ceiling.
That's high. Yeah, not the worst kick. And Kyle, to keep going with that birdie train. Let's go.
Really pure shot there. You could see it out of the hand. It was going to be in the circle. And Ricky, he threw a great shot here yesterday. Good line here, but just a little bit low or a little bit too much anhyzer out of the hand. A bit more hyzer, he could have maybe skipped up there. Now he's gonna have another look from C2.
Oh yeah. Thank you, James. 4 meters left. Should be an easy way to bounce back after the previous mistake. Väino from 30 meters something, not in the need of any stepper. Really easy spin putt from long range from Väino. Oh, good line for Ricky, just a bit too low. That's gonna be 2 bars in a row. What's going on?
Yeah, surprising. Honestly, with 2 pretty easy holes, and Kyle takes 1 stroke back from Ricky. Still, so many strokes between them. Honestly, at this point, it is Ricky's tournament to lose and somebody else's tournament to win. But most likely, still Ricky's tournament to win.
Yeah, we'll need somebody to heat up tomorrow and Ricky to do some mistakes. Yeah, I don't really know if it's possible. He looks so dialed, and we are moving on to hole 17. A lot can happen on this one.
Yeah, for sure. Second time on this course where we have the same exact length for 2 consecutive holes. 94 meters. It's actually almost an identical shot to the last hole. Only difference is that we are going a little bit uphill here. There's more danger as well. There's OB left, OB right, and a double mando. The gap is pretty fair though, so you really should hit the gap off the tee. You're going with a straight fairway driver here, most likely.
As we see the players going through the crowd. Where is it going?
Yeah, Carl just turning it to the right. That's the danger on this hole. You try to go a little bit too flippy and that's what happens. And James, really early to the right. That's a bad grip lock off this tee. As I said, the gap is pretty wide on this hole. And Väino finally throwing a good shot on the card. Right down the middle, even going a little bit past. That's gonna be a great result in the circle. Avoiding the OB long just barely. And Ricky here. Yesterday he was a little bit early left. And again he's early left, actually kicking OB. That's a huge momentum killer for Ricky right there. And looks like James did actually miss the mando, so he's going to the drop zone there. Gonna be a tap-in bogey for him.
And now Ricky. Yeah, fine approach. Kyle from long range. Is he able to make something happen? The line looked pretty decent. Väino with the most clear opportunity. Not able to capitalize, unfortunately, and Ben right there.
Yeah, MDG media guy operating the art cam.
It was the gimbal. He's live,
Gimbal.
actually.
Wow, that's cool. So gimbal is the camera that is following the players, moving around as the live operators wish. It's cool that we have the live from this event on Disc Golf Network. Check it out. Hole number 18 is an epic finishing hole. 151 meters, playing downhill and into the arena. It's a beautiful shot. Not the most difficult one. It plays great for an overstable distance driver played out way to the right. It's gonna fall back into the left. The most common mistake here is gonna be to fade out too far left. You really need to commit to put your driver way out to the right. Especially if it's a high shot, you can aim at the tower on the right side. That's gonna come into view in just a second. Actually, it's not.
Pretty looking line. Yeah, slightly short. but good results. Just inside C1 to finish the round in a good way.
And that's makeable for Väino, but definitely not what he wanted. After a missed putt on 17, after honestly a pretty slow round by him. And James, a lot of flip up on this. Needs to slow down to avoid the long side OB, and huge mistake on this hole number 18.
Uncommon. Yeah, too many red boxes to finish the round on James' side. And Ricky almost aced this one yesterday. Now a bit early, 12-13 meters left. Yeah, nothing too bad.
Very interesting scorecard on Ricky, you know, a lot of birdies, then just slowing down on the last 3 holes. Let's see Väino here for a great finish, and he's got it. 5 under round, able to salvage an okay score. Not a great round, but that's okay. Still in the mix, still in the top 10, tied 7th right now.
5 is a decent bad round, if you get what I want to mean with this. Yeah, not able to save it. That's gonna be a 3rd bogey out of the last 4 holes. And a good way to finish for Kyle, double digit on the round. Unfortunate stretch on 13 and 14 for him.
And Ricky making his surprisingly long comebacker for the par. You can still see that he's quite pleased with the result. 9 under, obviously not nearly as hot as his round 1 score, but still leading the tournament by 5. It's incredible to see a player that doesn't shoot a great round, but still is leading by 5 strokes.
Too good. He's dialed. And thanks to the crowd again for being here today. There was a lot of people. We are expecting a lot of Estonians tomorrow. We had great action on this card. Yeah, Ricky, 5 strokes entering the last round. What do you think? We've seen that in Kroko. What do you think?
I honestly think if Ricky is feeling good, which he likely will be, it's almost no chance for the field. He needs to make mistakes for the field to have any sort of chance, because a bad round for Ricky is still gonna be, 6, 7, 8 under, even if he plays quite poorly.
Exactly. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for commenting with me. And we'll see you on the last day of the European Disc Golf Festival.